guys, welcome to the Lycan DM's workshop. Got it right. 2 times. Alright, so yeah, today we are going to be working on the tower, and that tower we started out with this, and then we're going to get to something along the lines of this, where it has the walls, and then we're going to eventually get to what it looks like this, where we have a nice ruined building, all nicely painted up. We have the border around the top made out of that that cork board, and we're gonna get to that in a second. So now that we have it done right and the mic's all set up, we'll go ahead and switch to that tabletop. Oh, so much fun. All right, so yes. So last time, we have it situated like this, where we're going to have our walls lined up, doors in the front, and the tower coming off of that. Alright, so, now, before we begin, because this is going to be a 3-floor tower, well, so we're going to have, this is the base layer, we're going to have the walls coming around this way, and then we're going to have another layer, a partial layer on top of that, but we still need a base. So this one's going to be just the outer circle, and then it's going to have partial floor on the inside, and then we're going to have the walls on top, and then we're going to have a ruined battlement with crenellations. So those are going to be the 3 floors. So we don't need now. This is gonna create what looks like a lot of waste, but I'm gonna reuse these. So first things first, we gotta figure out where that line is. So once again, I believe this was at 4 and was it 4 1/4? I believe. Because this should be 4. Yep. And then 4 1/4. Yep. So we're going to take that initial line, and I'm going to go as close to the edge as I can with this. So this is the largest part of our circle here. I don't like creating a lot of waste. I like using what I have left over for other projects. I have a quite a bit built up that I end up using in little pieces here. Now, like, I'll show you when we did the doorway here, we used the little pieces of the broken corkboard. And eventually I'm going to go across the walls, and it's all those little pieces are going to get used eventually. I'm going to put that one off to this. I'll put it one over here. Give myself some room. And once again, I'm going to get myself that nice outer edge. And now we're going to switch it to just the regular 4 inches. And that is going to give me my wall space. Now, here is where it's going to get interesting. So we're going to take that, we're going to put that off to the side. That's going to be the top floor. This is going to be the 2nd floor. So we're going to start there in that middle hole that we made. And that's going to be the space for our grid. Now, I want to have a piece of this be ruined. I don't want this tower to be whole. So I am going to mark in. So this is 4 inches. I'm going to go 2 inches in. And I'm going to create another circle. Now, this is just a base. This is just to get me an idea. Now, I'm also going to make a 3-inch circle. And I'm going to put that just on part of it, just here. Now I'm going to label that stairs. So that's where I'm going to create some stairs coming up. That's going to be my space. So from there, we'll say... we want this much of the floor to be intact. I'm just going to do a rough outline. So when I do this, this piece is going to be missing. Now, because I'm doing that, my stairs are going to be here. I'm going to take a portion of this wall, and I'm going to break it. Okay. So this piece I'm going to cut out. Now, I'm going to dry fit it to see how that looks. So this is going to be here. Or do we want my stairs to be... yeah, we want our stairs to be in the back, I think. So the crumble part of the tower will be on the west side. So I'm going to go... or on the east side. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. East. West. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. It doesn't really matter if you use scissors or a utility knife for this. Just want to focus on getting that nice round edge. So good. We have that. I'm going to label the back of it second floor. I actually have all of my pieces, whatever their function is, labeled. So I have sets that all have some sort of theme to them. And now that I know this, see, I'm going to create a partial wall here. There's going to be a hole in the wall, but there is going to be a partial wall here. So I'm not cutting this entirety out. Now, I'm going to do the same thing for the top. I'm just going to, as far as cutting it out goes, but we're going to leave this one whole. Save those for another project. So once again, third floor tower. All right. Now let's begin construction with level 1. This part I'm going to keep separate and build this as a separate building, but I am going to make sure that I know that these spaces are going to be left blank so that I know this is where it attaches to the tower itself. However, I think I want to make it more so that there is a doorway with these walls coming in. Yeah, these walls are going to come in and there's going to be a double door. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, I have pre-cut some of these 2-inch tall strips of cardboard. Reminder to take off the tape. Now, I probably don't have enough cut, so I'm going to start with this for now and work around. Now, these ones, I would like to get a nice piece that's long enough to work around this way. So I'm going to grab a longer piece of cardboard. This should do nicely. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just make a rough cut for now. And just get a piece separated out. And as we know, as we've established from our last couple our last session, is that one of these little sleeves from this size box, this is actually a Chewy box. So it's perfect size. You know, Amazon boxes might work, but wherever the leaves are just as wide as the top, it just works out perfectly that way. So we're gonna take our ruler and measure. I'm gonna start at the flat side, not at the side that we cut. I'm gonna measure out 2 inches and 4 inches. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now, we can already establish the fact that, hey, this ruler is not long enough for that. That's where a yardstick comes in handy. Now, on the shorter pieces, sometimes I go ahead and I freehand the cuts. Because they're smaller, closer together, and, you know, whatnot. But on a longer cut like this, I want to keep it as straight as possible. So I'm going to use my knife and along with the ruler. Just going to take our time. Go slow. If you find that your ruler, your yardstick is pivoting, move your fingers up and down and go about, a few inches, stop, go a few inches. And once you get that line established, you can go over and make the finishing cut. Excellent. Do one more, and hopefully these 3 together will be the 3 we need for our 3 tower walls. It's nice once you establish that groove. Now, I'll show you how I keep my yardsticks and my T-square organized. This is a what do you want to call it? A present paper. Yeah, just call it that. Whether it's Christmas wrapping paper or any holiday or birthday wrapping paper. This is just a wrapping paper tube. I've crinkled up the bottom and glued it shut. And my yardsticks fit perfectly inside this. I have a metal one, a couple wooden ones, and then my T-square. It's like a nice sheath for yardsticks. So, cool thing about cardboard is you can kind of roll it. Since it has, when you cut it along that against that corrugation there, it gives you these nice ridges that you can slowly and just easily, nicely, one by one bend. And we're going to do that. We're just going to work it out a little bit. Just putting a little pressure. That's all I'm doing. Get a little closer to the camera. Show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just going one by one, put my fingers in that little dip in between the corrugation, and just bending it ever so slightly. And that'll keep us pretty smooth on the outside, but just give us that little indentation on the inside. That'll give us a nice curve. That's all it needs. Okay. Now you see the outside is still pretty smooth, while the inside is almost got that barrel-esque shape to it. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish the corner piece. So I find a nice spot, and yeah, I'm actually trying to do this entire tower with just as little cardboard waste as I can. And I think I'll be able to get it to at least here. So I'll just need one more wall. So, I'm just going to eyeball this one. I'm going to take that measurement right there, that corner, I'm going to cut that. When streaming, word of advice, remember to turn your hot glue gun on so it's ready when you need it. So, while we're doing that, let's measure the rest. So, this is going to get us up to there. Now, this corner I want to be all one piece. So we're going to glue this as we go along until we get to here. And that should give us the same. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a piece from our smaller strips. That'll fit here. So we need a 2-inch piece. find where I want to start. Now, one thing I like about the Surebonder is it does warm up pretty fast. So that's a nice little touch. Okay. It's actually one of the fastest heating up glue guns I've ever worked with, and I really appreciate that. Alright. I'm going to start here, and a line here. Let's see if we can get this focused a little better. Just hold that there for a second. Make sure you have a 90-degree wall. And once that is nice and secured and cooled down, we're going to start by just going little by little. Go to there, about 2 inches, inch and a half or so. And the important part of this whole process and making this round and keeping it as round as possible is making sure the glue is nice and hardened and dry before you continue on. But yeah, so this entire process is it just takes a little time getting this initial wall up. To get a little more confident, you can take a little further distance. Hot glue doesn't have that long of a working time, but its working time is enough to make a project like this It gives you a little room for error, I guess is my point. I'm going to go up until my glue is done. I'll try getting it to that edge as much as possible. And while that is finishing up, load up another glue stick. Keep doing the same thing all the way around. And we'll see how far. So I don't have enough to actually fill that last little space in there, which is fine. So I'll show you what we'll do. Just like we are like a centimeter too shy there. Well, took it in a little bit on that side. Maybe I can take it in a little bit on this side. And we do have a pretty smooth outer rim, which I'm pretty happy about. It came out really well. So okay, let's fudge this a little bit. Let's jury rig this. So I'm gonna put the glue here, and we're just going to put that there. And what I think I'm gonna do is I might just fill in the gap that will be there with hot glue. There is just a sliver of a crack. So yeah, we're just going to fill that in with hot glue. Now, part of what I want to do here is, this is a twofold experiment. One, yes, it's going to be a ruined tower. But two, I would love for this to turn into a base for a future project that is, in fact, a not a ruined tower. And we'll see how that goes. But okay, so we've established that. Where's my? Okay, got this on 2. Nope, 3. 3. One on 3. Over here is going to be our stairs. That gap is filling in nicely, I might add. The hot glue will move down, and you will have to eventually, as it cools, fill in any little gaps of air that form. But honestly, we shouldn't have much of a problem. wisps. Okay, so this is the initial part of our first layer. Then we're going to have this on top. So, so now this one is a little different because we are going to have the walls in the front, and I'm going to put a partial wall back here. So when I take my long piece, I'm going to start at where I'm going to put the hole, and I'm going to go around. So once again, we are going to do what we did last time, and we are just going to gently bend that cardboard in those creases in between the corrugation. And now, once I get this mapped out, I want to figure out where to put some arrow slits. So arrow slits we are just going to do as some diamond shapes. There we go. That's what I'm for. All right, so establish here. Work our way around. Okay. So I'm just going to figure out where on the outside I want to draw some arrow slits. So I'm just going to draw some diamonds just to show where I want them. And I think I want 4 in the front. And then we'll do 4 in the back. I was doing some general markings. I'm going to figure out how far between these guys there actually is space. Or they're spaced. Get my ruler. So we're not going to measure here from here to here because yeah, this is the ruin side. Maybe there was one off of there. So basically, it looks like they are 2 inches apart. I'll say 2.5. I think would be a better judge. Two and a half. 2.5. 2.5. Yeah, that looks good. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Wow, these ones actually, so far so good, are 2.5 from each other. Okay. So I'm going to make a marking. Let's see how far apart these ones are. These should be 2.5, 5. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, we have ours marked out. So now, obviously, arrow slits aren't actually diamonds. I'm just going to do a rough cut here because I don't have a stencil for an arrow slit. But what I cut out is going to be my stencil. So that way, once I have something established as the basic, the template, the basic shape that I'm going for, I'm going to copy that across the entirety of the project. Should I have done this this template on a spare piece of cardboard? Sure, I could have. But I wanted to be able to eyeball it and see it on the piece in its entirety. Free up some of these edges that are in the back. Arrow slit. Now, this is going to be larger on the inside. This is what we're looking for is what's on the inside that counts. Now we are going to build some sticks using these thicker matchstick styles, and they are going to go in front of the arrow slit. And it'll make the outside smaller, giving it the idea of an arrow slit. However, that's for next week. That's more of the finishing touches. So, we're going to hold this in place, and we're going to draw this. We're going to trace this. And yeah, cutting the arrow slits is probably going to be the most tedious part of this project. But that's why I'm only going to do them on the one line. So once basically my method of action here is once I get the first groove in there, I go through each side and I make the appropriate amount of cuts to get through to the other edge. And it's okay if you overcut this a little bit, because these edges are going to be covered with the wood. Now, this one is what I cut out. We are not going to use that one to cut out the rest. We are going to use our initial template. That way we can ensure that they're all roughly the same size. You don't want to cut templates of templates. Now, there's two ways you can ensure that you're using the same one each time. One of them is to label your template. And that's a smart practice. And really what it just comes down to is you want to stay organized. You want to organization is key. I'll say it every time when it comes to any project you're working on. A lot of times your success is measured in how organized you are. Yeah, you know, I'm a proponent of some organized chaos for sure. But point being is that the more organized you are, you know where your tools are, the faster the project will go. There. We have our first 4 arrow slits done. I think I'll spend an extra half hour on this project today and go till about 3:30. And then next week, what we'll be working on is we are going to take the foyer, the front room of this. We're going to take each level, and we're going to take the first one we were working on, the ruined farmhouse, and we are going to make the finishing touches on it, the finished prep before painting. I mean, yeah, you know, it's all a process. It takes some time. A lot of this stuff I was able to get this guy done start to finish this project in a day. Yeah, no, it was rewarding getting this done. So yeah, you know, I mean, a building a day is nice. I basically have, tomorrow is a campaign that I'm running in person. It's going to need some ruined buildings. I'm going to use my old set, plus that building I just showed you, plus another one that I'm working on. With those two buildings, actually, I want to get this one done because this is going to also function as a windmill, as a ruined windmill. So this one I will get mostly done today, but we'll get there. I would love to stream for hours, hours and hours. Right now, it's not entirely feasible, but that's why. Oh, I should mention, follow me on Twitch, please. Please do. Please follow me on Twitch. I am very close to getting affiliate, and when I get my affiliate link, or my affiliation, whatever you want to call it, I can start getting monetized for this, and I would appreciate that very much. It'll go a long way to help me keep creating these videos, keep creating content. And since this is my prep time for my my paid games as is, I'm a professional DM after all, which is a dream come true. And I thank all of my players. I thank both past and present for either the experience they've given me, or just the just the sheer time that they've given me to facilitate and learn how to be a better DM and facilitate these fantasies and different adventures that we have run over through the years. So should I do a shameless plug for myself? I suppose I will. For those of you watching, if you're interested in one of my online games, you can find me at startplaying.games, a great website that is used by DMs, GMs, all different games, to find players, or for players to find GMs. I currently run 5 games a week through Start Playing on Roll20. Prices range from $10.99 a game to $20 a game currently. And I run my tables have a cap of 6 players. That cutoff limit is what I've experienced in my time of DMing is kind of the cap of the fun cap, if you will. You can do more players than that, but turns don't come often enough, and people are sitting around for a while, they're not having fun. So I do have open seats on my games. Let's see. I'll give you a rundown so far. So currently, it is May 30th, 2023. Mondays, I'm running Tyranny of Dragons on Roll20 through startplaying.games. And Tuesdays, I'm running a game called Waterdeep, the City of Splendors, which takes place in Waterdeep. It's a multi-faceted campaign, doing some dungeon crawls through the Yawning Portal, and then in between adventures or between dungeon crawls, we're going to be doing basically character building and character-specific, party-specific stuff that have to do with life and times inside Waterdeep. Basically the off-season, if you will. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. Eventually we're going to work into Dungeon of the Mad Mage and Tomb of Horrors and all that. Currently, we are on the Sunless Citadel. We just started this campaign not that long ago. Let's see. Wednesday, it takes place in my homebrew world of Glucoros. You can find information on that on my YouTube. Also, the Lycan DM. And so One Shot Wednesday is a series of one-shots that take place generally every week. You can come and go as you please. Kind of a lot like a hobby shop style play where you don't have to come every week to enjoy the adventure, and you don't need to come every week to know what's going on. But yeah, they're mostly tied together quests that right now we're at level 8. Let's see. This level we are going to be exploring the undersea lifestyle of the Tritons of my world. Me and my team have made some nice elaborate dungeons and maps, which you've seen me make on earlier editions of this workshop. Things like that. And so that's fun. We got them all done. Thursdays is a campaign based on, I call it From Neverwinter to Waterdeep. And so basically it started off with Lost Mine of Phandelver. And our team is making their way from Neverwinter, eventually working their way to Waterdeep. We are about to find our way into Barovia soon. And that's going to be fun. And Fridays, back to my homebrew world, but the ancient edition of my homebrew world. A game that I've made myself entitled Bones and Barbarians. It's D&D 5e, but it's an ancient world RPG. It's based in the late Bronze Age, early Age of Steel. That's currently my magnum opus, if you will. It's a lot of work. It's the same game that me and my crew stream on Thursday nights that we play. Which, speaking of which, season 2 of Bones and Barbarians is going to start streaming Thursday night, June 22nd at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, catch us then. I hate to say it, but I irregularly show reruns in the meantime. It should be more regular. I'm dropping the ball on that, that's for sure. But I've been using these the off season to spend time with my family. So don't judge me too harshly. What else? A shout out to a local game store here in Athens, Georgia, Level Up Games. That's where I host games every other Wednesday, where you can see terrain like this being featured. Now, other than that, so most of the games I run are from 10 a.m. to 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With the exception of Bones and Barbarians, which is Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, if anyone wants to see the maps I make, the worlds I've created, and play with me, have me DM you. By all means, see me then. You can, like I said, you can find me at startplaying.games, Michael P. Yeah. I also do custom games. So, were you to want me to do one in person or whether it be or online campaign or one shot that you and your your crew wants to have me DM for, you can find me. You can hire me through Start Playing. Start Playing is a great website, a great resource for DMs and GMs to find players and for players to find GMs. A lot of us are really experienced. It is a forum to see reviews. It's a great place to see what other players that have played with these GMs have to say about them. Look at this. So this wall is going to be made up of the chip, not chipboard, but the corkboard. So yeah, I'm liking this. All right, excellent. So now the top layer. Top layer is going to be some crenulations. So it's not going to be full walls. So once again, we are going to go most of the way around, and we are going to have this section kind of missing, crumbled away. So as I judge where this is, take my pencil, and I'm going to figure out a space where we're going to cut that. Now, before I glue this into position, I'm going to do what I keep doing, keep folding these in, and then once I glue them into position, I'm going to cut out the crenulations. I notice that I often end up going over. An hour for crafting live is very hard to do. It's very hard to get something completely done, especially when you're doing this much prep. So I wonder, should I just say these streams are going to be longer? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It would give me more time to decide, or rather, give me more time to finish these projects. Give myself a better time frame. I think what it comes down to is I would be able to if I get more followers. So yeah, so come follow me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. You know the drill. You hear it everywhere. You know it. Alright, excellent. Let's get this started. I won't go that far. So for all you GMs out there who are watching this, if you're not hooked up on Start Playing, if you are a professional, if you want to be a professional GM, or you can't just. It's not like getting hired for a job. It's a slow process. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be real. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's take this time while we build this tower to talk about how hard it is to be a full-time dungeon master. So one, yes, you need prep time. And prep time, you're not getting paid for it. Let's face it. That is why I have turned to Twitch. That's why I have turned to YouTube and posted a lot of my prep, or airing a lot of my prep, I should say, live or in the form of YouTube videos. It's a great resource to get monetized for your time and effort that you're putting in to these projects that you otherwise that are otherwise an unpaid hobby. Now, a lot of hobbies, you get to sell your stuff at craft fairs and things like that. So this is one way of kind of expanding, on the fact that there's been plenty of YouTubers out there in the tabletop crafting community that have already started doing this sort of thing. And I don't think I'm that innovative. I'm just following in their footsteps with my own style. That's as far as I'm concerned. I don't find myself to be some sort of pioneer or anything like that at all. I'm just a GM looking to make this hobby into a profession. And yeah, you know, I'll be honest. The first few months of professional GMing were extremely difficult. You know, you're still working part-time, a regular job, or even full-time for that matter, depending on how you're doing. But you know, it's a slow process to. There's other, but the strange part is, my point is that it's not unlike other professions. If you're, you know, a hairdresser, which some of my relatives are, you know that you have to build your clientele before you can really start making money. And it's the same thing with DMing. You have to build a community of players. You know, you have to show people that they can trust you, that you're worth paying for your job, or worth paying you for this for your services. And yeah, I mean, this is something I've done for 25 years, 26 now. And this is where we're going with it. We're building towers for our miniatures to play in. We're building worlds. We're building our own adventures. We're taking adventures and we're making the NPCs, the creatures, and just the world in general feel like a living, breathing organism that is ever expanding, ever living, and growing based on your players' choices and your vision. So yeah, guys, that's where we're at right now. So yeah, so next time we're gonna take our tower pieces. We are gonna put some of these little strips of corkboard. We're gonna glue them to the top. They are gonna make a nice section in between, just as we have this house here. And we're going to paint the inside eventually. But next time we're going to do these finishing touches. And I think next week we'll be able to paint. So yeah. Next week, finishing, or some nice other touches. We're going to be putting the wood on the... Now, we're not going to get to paint next week, let's be honest. We're not getting to painting. But we're going to be doing these final touches before painting. And, yeah, we're going to have some fun. Alright, guys. See you next week. Thank you for joining me. Catch you next time.